into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Got a secret, can you keep it? Swear this one you'll say. Gotta lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. And I'll show you and I'll know you won't tell what I said. 'Cause two can't keep a secret if one of them is dead.
Sam, you're new, you gotta
Sam.
It was a good try. Good effort.
We almost made it for our season finale. Well, welcome to our...
put you on the spot now.
We did put you on the spot, but welcome to our Pretty Little Liars after show. Of course, this is the season 6 finale. Hush, hush, sweet liars. I can't even get it out tonight. Hush, hush, sweet liars. And we had, I think, the biggest reveal of the season. I'm super excited to talk about it, but before we do that, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
I'm Kristin Strange, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kristin_Strange.
Hey guys, I'm Sam Davidson. Thank you all so much for having me tonight. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43.
Hey everyone, I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, all social media, at Heather Joy Smith. And we want to give a huge shout out tonight to SF Apparel. They supplied us with all of these shirts. Jordan over there at SF Apparel hooked us up with custom Team Ezria shirts, you guys. You can find them on social media at ESEF Apparel or Etsy.com, ESEF Apparel. That's SF Apparel.
Yeah.
And thank you to Jordan for giving us these awesome shirts.
They're so cute,
so
and
amazing.
soft.
Yeah. And they're like the best shirts, you guys. And she custom did them for us. And, you know, you can go on there and have her make you some cool things. Maybe you want a Team Ezria shirt, Team Spooby, whatever you want, they will do it for you guys. So make sure to check them out.
You should totally send us pictures of your shirt.
Yes!
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That would be amazing.
And next season, they will all give you a shout out if you take a picture of the shirt with you in it.
Yes.
So shout out.
You know how much we love when you send us pictures of us watching our show
will
or
put
just
your
anything.
picture up here.
Yeah.
If you get a picture in one of these shirts.
Yes.
And
Make
they're
it glittery,
super
though.
comfy.
Make it
too.
They're so comfy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love them. And they have all different kinds of like little sayings that you can get, like anything you want. They pretty much have. So check them out. SF Apparel. Jordan over there is amazing. So thank you, Jordan, and your team over there.
Yeah, and it was such an appropriate night to wear these.
Yes.
And we'll get into
Oh
all
my
of
god,
our...
I know. We didn't even know.
I know. It was so great that we're wearing them tonight, but we have to get into the couples news. But I think fans will be super upset if we don't talk about, I think, the biggest reveal of season 6 right now, is especially after the time jump. This PL twin, it's been like trending all night is what I'm getting at. And so Mary Drake and Jessica De Laurentiis, twins. Hopefully you've watched the show, and I'm not spoiling anything for you. But we're really crossing our fingers you have. Big spoilers. So let's talk about this. This was crazy, and it all happened in 3 or 4 minutes.
I know. All of a sudden, when he was pulling it off, I was like, oh, it's Elliot. I know it's Elliot. I know it. I know it. And
I thought it was a girl. Back when the mask thing, remember a few episodes ago, and they were pulling it off in the car? I thought it was a girl underneath the mask. So
maybe it was the Mary Drake.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had a really good feeling that we were going to have something with Mrs. De Laurentiis' involvement tonight. So this was huge.
Yeah, totally.
I agree, and I've been seeing it on Twitter all week that people thought it was going to involve her. I kind of wanted it to be one of the 4 girls.
I did too.
Like, just because it would be so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that
it
would
would have needed to be something that they planned from day one, because
would've.
they can't just I almost feel like they threw this storyline in a little bit to mix things up, and this was not planned from day one. If it was one of the girls, they can't do that to our girls and just, like, tear us apart like that.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true.
I agree with that. But what did you think about Elliot working with I'm just totally blanking on her name.
Mary?
With Mary.
We knew how shady this guy was. Like,
I know.
You just got this shade creep factor from him every time he was on, and I don't think we ever thought he was going to be a good person. So it's not surprising at all.
I didn't get that. I mean, coming onto the panel as a guest right now, and I watch this alone, have you, and I'm talking to my cat, asking her what she thinks. But I thought that he was, I'm naive, but I thought he was a good guy and good for Allison. And even last season, at the end, when we saw the flash forward, it's like, oh, Allison's married. Man, it's so cute.
I knew that she wasn't going to last, because
No way.
I mean, maybe this is a good reason to not get married after one date.
Exactly.
Like a PSA.
Yeah. Not everyone works
Right.
out after one date.
Right.
I have the chat pulled up, and someone asks why Elliot started dating Allison before Cece's death, which is something that I asked all of you guys, when we were sitting there watching it.
I think they were planning it for the money, because Mary wanted what she called hers. This is finally mine. So I think I think that it was more about the money, and then when Cece died, or Charlotte or Charles or
Whatever name you want to give her.
when she died, I think that it was just like, oh, well, we'll continue because she still needs to get what's hers.
But was Cece involved? When Allison thought that she had changed and she was better and she was good, was that all a lie so they could get whatever fortune the De Laurentises have?
Maybe.
Yeah. I feel like it kind of was set up like that. I don't think she ever really was good enough to be released.
Well, because did you guys remember when Allison mentioned a couple episodes ago that when the night that Cece came home, she told her about her and Dr. Rollins, and Cece was very upset, and then she left to go, and then she ended up at the church and she died. But right before she left, she seemed upset, so maybe she didn't.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like something I'm gonna have to process more
Yeah.
and like come back.
I wasn't ready for that one, Sam.
Points.
Thank you for joining the panel. Yeah, bring a
Asking
new
the hard
perspective.
questions.
Yeah. This was just one of those things where it kind of came out of left field for me. Like I knew like the De Laurentiis family was going to be involved, maybe her mother, but I didn't see this Mary, like I didn't see what they kind of did, and it became, I think you said it when we were watching the show, such a soap opera tonight.
Oh, and crazy, Elliot's British. Was it British?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I'm not great with like putting
Yeah,
accents
it's like,
where they
wait,
belong.
I always get them mixed
It's like
up.
maybe
So-
Australian
yeah,
or maybe
that's-
Scottish.
I was like, wait, I don't know.
But it was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It was an accent.
Yeah,
To
it's
me-
definitely not American.
He's very similar to Ren.
I
though.
know. Yes, I see. I thought him and Rin might have been the twins.
Me too.
Yeah.
I actually like him better with an accent. So, I don't know.
And what did you think about Allie so she's having these nightmares
I
and
think
she
he
can't
gave her some pills.
I think he must have gave her some pills, and obviously they weren't really nightmares if they
Yeah.
actually were there.
But like, okay, I know when something's a nightmare and when it's not.
Right.
Like, he had to have given her something.
she had to have been on drugs.
Well, she already knew she was on drugs because she was on painkillers.
Right.
So,
I think he must have like amped him up a little bit
Yeah.
and done.
Did something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what was weird for me was I couldn't tell where, like, it felt like some of it was nightmares and some of it was obviously reality and happening to her. But the creepiest moment I thought of the episode had to be when she has someone in bed next to her, and it's just this moment of you're just like, well, that's not your husband, but it was your husband.
There was like 17 times where I was on Sam's lap.
Yeah.
They were grabbing each other. It was a mutual thing.
Oh my god!
Actually, you guys scared me more than the other.
Yeah. I was like, I would jump because you guys were jumping.
I was like, oh yeah, it's creepy, and then you'd be like jumping.
I was getting really anxious about it all.
So it was amazing. It made it so fun to watch with you. Yeah, but this moment was so huge, and I could not believe that what's kind of exciting for me about next season is we need to have Allie figure all this out. Like, as the audience, it's always fun when the audience knows something and a lead character doesn't know it. And I imagine that next season, a lot of it is going to be how Allie uncovers this. Because we know that Cece is not really her sister, but her cousin. There's so many things about like her family tree that essentially have changed or evolved over the course of this season 6B.
Yeah, I agree, but I just, do you guys not agree that Mrs. De Laurentiis should have said so many things before she died? Like,
She left
That
a lot
lady
unsaid.
was hiding a lot of things.
I feel like she must have not been in a very good emotional state because she just hid so much from everybody in her life.
I feel like Mrs. D is the Pretty Little Liar in
Right?
this whole
But
show.
where did Allie get it? Her mom, obviously.
Duh.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane, like the way that this is all going. But before we jump into all this couples news, there's so much that happened today, and we're so excited to talk about
Oh my
it.
god, I can't even.
But
Yes, you can. Sorry.
I feel like if you're a Pretty Little Liars fan, maybe you're curious about being a celebrity's boyfriend in a midlife crisis. And we actually have a new show here at AFTERBUZZ that's talking all about that. So if you enjoy hearing stories about behind the scenes of Hollywood, amused by old TV and movie references, then you're going to love The Tomorrow Show with our creator, Kevin Undergaru. Join him, and he's also Maria Menounos' new fiance. Super excited.
Sorry, if you watched that video and cried, you're not the only one.
Also, cue up, she got engaged on Howard Stern. It's the cutest video, side note, but also this new show, The Tomorrow Show. It also has AfterBuzzers, my friend Roxy Stryer, Ashley Daniels, and other people all along for the insanity. So you can watch that live on Monday and Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time on thetomorrowshow.com, or subscribe and download to their podcast on iTunes and go to thetomorrowshow.com for more information. And while you're online, always rate and subscribe our show as well. We love hearing from you, so definitely check The Tomorrow Show and check in with us all season as well.
Yeah.
All in the off season, rather. And so let's get into the best news.
The best part of this entire
The
show.
reason our shirts
I feel like
exist.
Sam thinks we're crazy.
You guys, our shirts,
she's repping the shirt.
made this come true.
I'm pretty sure that's the only reason it happened.
Pretty sure it happened because we wore these shirts. It was like we were putting it in the universe that we wanted Team Ezria back, and it happened.
I'm so excited about this, and they did it in the perfect way.
And didn't I call it? Like,
So great.
Like 30 seconds before it happened, I was like, 15 seconds. I was like, they're gonna kiss. And then all of a sudden they kissed, and I was like, oh my god, I've been right about so many things.
We all were like, whoa! Like, it was like they won the Super Bowl or
I know.
something.
This was my Super Bowl.
This was the Super Bowl of Pretty Little Liars.
It was such a well done moment. I want to take us back into that storyline and talk about how. So Arya, I think this is really one of the first times we've seen Arya be insecure about writing, and I think she's always kind of, from the pilot, been pretty secure in her abilities in that area. And tonight we saw her really question herself, and then once Ezra reveals that the book is going to be a success and there's going to be a book tour and more time spent together, let's be honest, on that promotional tour.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was also about the emotional support that he gave her throughout that process.
It was great.
It was
So good.
I just want to be like, it was amazing, but I loved the lead up to it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah, well, it was bound to happen, and it's probably going to happen again and again and again on their book tour.
That's okay.
It
We can have it happen every Tuesday night, y'all.
But, you know, for us as viewers, it's only been a few months, these 5 years that they've taken apart. So we still kind of ship them so hard
Right.
because it's only been a few months for us. But now for them, they've both had significant relationships. And it's different. And you can tell Arya's fighting it so hard when before she wasn't. It's very interesting to watch. I think they've done a great job with their storyline.
Someone is predicting two things. One, that Arya gets pregnant from that.
Oh, hey.
Two, that Nicole comes back.
I've always thought Nicole was alive because they said she got kidnapped, right?
Right.
But I don't ever think they really said they saw her body.
No, they didn't.
No.
And we know if you don't see a body, no one's dead.
Right.
Liars.
Okay, so Sam and I were talking earlier today, and we were joking that, like, even if we see someone actually murdered, there could still bring them back and be like, oh, well, that was just a dream, but they were alive this whole time.
That was their twin. I mean, they're triplet. I mean, they're quadruplet. You know, there's a lot of them.
Just because someone dies on the show doesn't mean they're actually dead.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, we've seen it happen time and time again, let's be honest.
Well, it literally gets to vampires. I'm like, do we need to cut their heads off? Like,
Right.
are they supernatural?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly.
Oh, that bullet to the heart? It didn't really count. It
Didn't
just
really
missed the
work.
heart. Just missed it.
I mean, amazing. And kind of, that's what I think the fans really love about this show, though, is that kind of anything can happen,
Yeah.
and they've made it this world of, like, we always say the Pretty Little Liars world. It's not reality. It's something that's so fun, and it's Rosewood specific, and so I really appreciate that. Let's talk about another reunited couple. Caleb and Hannah, what do we think? Spencer.
This didn't really give me the feels like it did with Ezria, I gotta admit, but I don't mind. I mean, whatever.
I liked it in the way that I liked. It's nice to see Hannah like vulnerable, and when she was, you know, kind of like reliving that area. But then I got kind of mad at her because she was like, "Oh yeah, like I never stopped loving you," and then they had like this really slow lead up to a kiss where you kind of thought that they were going to get interrupted and it wasn't going to happen, but it did happen like 20 seconds later, and I don't know. I just
Yeah, okay, so hear me out on this one. I don't completely agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it. When Spencer wanted to hook up with Caleb, she went to Spencer or she went to Hannah and like basically asked permission to hook up with him.
Right.
Okay, she was being a good friend. Then you got Spencer saying, "I love you" to Caleb. Granted, he didn't say it back.
didn't.
I get that. But then you got Hannah hooking up with him like an hour later. I know
yeah.
this isn't going to be popular. I know that. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, let me just say, I've watched your guys' after shows, and I'm friends with you guys. I've talked to you. I am a huge Caleb fan, like more than Ezria here. Like I would be. Yeah.
get out.
I think girl code number 1: never hook up or date your best friend's first love.
Oh yeah, I've said that several times on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I even though she asked, whatever. But yeah, their reunion to me was really nice, and Hannah revealed the information that there was unfinished business there, which kind of makes it not okay. For me, I feel worse for Hannah's fiance
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
than
and
Spencer.
Anna00WERA said Caleb and Hannah should have acted like adults and be like, okay, we still have feelings for each other. But Caleb should have been like, I'm with Spencer and I need to resolve it first. And that's true, they're not in high school anymore.
Right.
Like,
You're adults now.
they're adults. And
Stop
as
acting
an
like that.
adult, like in high school, it's kind of okay to be like, oh, let me kiss you, and she just said she loved me, because you're all over the place with your feelings. Right. But like, and you also don't only have X amount of time with relationships. But at this time, like, they're adults, they're graduated from college, they're in their careers.
There's a fiance
There's
now.
a fiance involved. Like, they were not acting like adults.
No.
None of them, really. But we're going to pretend like Arya and Ezra did.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Even
keep
though they
in
did
mind that Hannah was potentially on the brink of death, and she ends up,
True.
So I think that might have been, if we never see each other again, well, I'm going to want to have kissed her one more time. I kind of think that it was coming, and she was scared, and
I get what you're saying, but I also think that if you're gonna do this 5-year like jump, just like in terms of show writers, like I would have liked to seen them act a little more adult. But I'm not unhappy that they're reunited.
No,
I just wanted it in a little different way.
Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, I want him to like put an end on Spencer and then move on to Hannah. If you're ready to like go back to Hannah, that's fine. Like, that's your first love. I get that. I'm all for like first loves, but I just wanted it to be a little more closure with Spencer first.
Agree.
I just think that, I don't know, I think that Hannah was in the right place with Jordan. Like, it's not the same as it was with Caleb, but it's not supposed to be for the rest of your life. Like, her and Caleb had such a, like, tumultuous, is that how you pronounce? Tumultuous. I can't even pronounce it when you say it to me. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
They had a rocky relationship.
Way to fix the problem.
Yeah. And like, now with Jordan, she doesn't have a rocky relationship. Like, she's a real adult with a job and a life, and like, she doesn't have stalkers chasing her, and like, I don't feel like, even in the flashbacks we've gotten with her and Caleb, yeah, we've only seen the bad things, but I don't feel like they were ever there. Like, he doesn't want what she wants, and so that's never gonna work. And with Jordan, she was in a good place, so
Right. Yeah.
But let me just ask, though, because I was thinking about this while I was watching it, does Spencer's life is going to be crazy when she gets back to D.C., and she's a busy woman and definitely chooses her career first more than all of the liars, so how is that more compatible with Caleb than
I think
Hannah?
Caleb was going to move with her.
Yeah, and then be like, oh, wait, you can't come to Europe with me this weekend? It's like, sorry, I had a job.
Yeah.
Good point.
You make a good point, yeah. But speaking of Europe, you had Spencer and Toby also kind of reminiscing about learning French together, which
that was sweet.
Yeah, it was like a sweet moment, another sweet one.
It was, but then you think about it, she doesn't think he remembers French, so she's being condescending speaking in French. And then he goes, oh, I remember French. Don't try to get me. Like,
That's so right. She's like, I'm going to speak in this language I don't think you know.
well, I think that was part of the fault in their relationship, is that she kind of felt as though she was on a higher level than him, more intelligent, and now he's like, oh no, I'm on the same playing field as you now, which is why they need to get back together.
Yeah. I also love, just on like a side note of that he wore glasses and that's how he's aged. Like, that was the only...
It was kind of cute.
Yeah. You know, that 23-year-old eyesight.
Yeah.
Right. Really going
Really
out.
going.
We must be blind at this point.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay, that's how we're going to show age. Okay, cool.
Whatever
Cute
works.
glasses, though.
But yeah, I agree with you about kind of, it showed that they're just like in completely different places, I think, in so many ways, because she was still acting above him, and she's traveled and like had this life in Washington, and now he's always stayed in town. And it's gonna be interesting, though. I feel like they're kind of also on the verge of reuniting.
Yeah.
It feels like they just left us with all of the old couples reuniting. Like, where's Paige? We might as well have just brought her back.
Screw Paige.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I think, people are saying that Emily's the only one that didn't get kissed tonight, but, there was, now at the end of the episode, we had that reveal about Allison's husband, Elliot,
Right.
so there is some Emerson room over there.
Right.
I know we didn't get a lot of Emily in general tonight, even beyond just kisses. Like, I feel like we didn't get a ton of...
Her character has slowly gotten less and less time.
Yeah. Maybe just because the other characters kind of have these really big storylines right now.
She just doesn't really have anything right now.
Yeah, I'm assuming in season 7 she's going to come back with something crazy. Cause
She's been there like a stone, like a rock for everybody.
Right.
I don't know where I was going with stone.
I got you.
Words are really hard for me to
Clearly.
We're going to do our predictions and as well as our couples report card in a second, but I also want to briefly talk about kind of the creepiest version of Mona that we've seen so far.
Oh, I loved her.
I did too tonight.
Oh, really?
I was like, girl got their backs.
I know.
See,
She was like, I
felt like, I mean, that was a little creepy, but for once I felt like she actually was doing something productive.
She was. She
Well,
did feel
if
like
anyone
it.
in the chat can tell us, we kind of forget why, because when we left at the end of last season, before the flash forward, we were all on the same team here. They were all on the same team, but now they don't trust her and don't like her, and I kind of am not finding the connect as to why. And it makes me sad, because I think that she's trying really hard.
I do too. I honestly, I don't know. I think that she's grown up. I don't think she's a threat to them anymore like they think she is. But they're holding grudges, and rightfully so.
That's what it is I think they're just not ready to stop holding their grudges from her and all of that, and they don't trust her just yet.
But you all were locked in a dungeon together for a while, and then sat there in the cold and hungry, and,
I like this. Krista King on the chat says, #forgive Mona. It's true. We do want to forgive Mona.
But then once we do, she's going to have one of those creepy scenes in a black hoodie and be like,
Right, and then she's going to be creepy and do something.
I fooled them. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just one of those things where I feel like her character swings so to like good to bad on any given week. I never know where she's going to land.
She's complicated.
Yeah,
She's complicated. Thank you. Yeah, no, but she really does swing from good to bad though, week to week.
Well, you know what? I think that because back in the books, the twin was a theme. Allie was a twin. And, now we have these new twins, but I think that every character, they have these twin tendencies, like almost split personalities.
It's true. Yeah, I could totally see that. I really like how deep you get into this.
Yeah, me too.
This is what happens when I sit home with my cat and watch it.
She's giving you great feedback.
Yeah, you're great.
I agree with you. Like, it's going to be interesting that they all have these. I'm hoping in season 7, because it's allegedly the last one, that we kind of delve into a little bit more of that and why they are kind of the way they are at this point. But we'll see what happens in season 7. So many questions. Let's do our couples report card.
Can I go first?
Obviously you can, yeah.
A++++++++ for Team Ezria.
I don't even know if there's enough pluses to handle the amount that we want to give them.
It was so hot.
So together for season 7?
Yes.
I don't think that they will be together. I think there's still some blocks in the road, but I think that...
Yeah, I don't think together, but I don't want them to be together. I want them to be, like, hot and secretive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
And what about Caleb and Hannah? Season 7? Yes, no? What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm lukewarm on this.
I don't know. I do think that now, like, when we come back, I don't know, because Hannah was, like, stolen. So
Who knows where she's
maybe
going to end up.
that will be his, like, push to be like, oh my god, I just kissed her and then she was, like, kidnapped and I love her.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then he'll have to, like, break
He's
it
going
off
to get
with...
the feelings.
Yeah,
And what about Spencer and Caleb? Done?
Well, I guess if he's breaking it off,
If he's going to go, yeah.
I think it's definitely going to cause problems because I would imagine that like the first episode or the first couple episodes are going to be trying to get Hannah back.
Right.
So I think that that's going to be an issue for Spencer, who obviously wants to get her back too, but
Right.
I feel like Caleb's going to be pushing the force for that.
Yeah, well, I think that Spencer's going to see that, and she's going to pick up on it, and then automatically be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to back off. You didn't say I love you back.
Mm-hmm. And I think
But she didn't look too disappointed that he didn't say I love you back, though.
He smiled.
Yeah.
And she was just like, ha ha ha, like she didn't even notice he didn't say it.
Right. I think though that Yvonne and Toby tonight were very D-E.
Yeah, I mean, well, I get where she was coming from, being like, you're not going to be here for me, like, you're going to be there for Spencer for something else, and he couldn't really tell her, so I get her point in being pissed. I would be super pissed, too.
Super pissed.
But, I mean...
But I think that's going to be the kind of,
she has to
beginning of this breakup of them.
I was going to
two.
say Dunzo in season
she
7?
has to trust
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I'm giving them like a D- at this point.
See,
Okay.
I was too. I really wanted her to be part of this whole thing, like A-Team style. I wanted her to be undercover, not a good person, but like maybe really loved Toby, so there would be that back and forth factor. But she just seems like a poor girl that sucks for her. What's happening?
Yeah.
She's just kind of caught in the middle of it.
Yeah, I kind of have a feeling she's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
sad.
don't know if she will either.
I don't know.
Yeah. And what do we think about Allison and Elliot? They still... I know.
What relationship at this
I'm going to
point?
give them an F.
I was going to say, can we give it to be determined?
Yeah.
Like, woo.
Obviously, he never loved her, and I feel bad that she got played. Like, she's been through so much already, and it's like, oh, this is just another one. Like, now she's already down one marriage in, like, a week.
I know.
Well,
They literally just got back from their honeymoon.
I know.
could we talk about for a second, though, as far as couples, Charlotte and Elliot, what do we think exactly went on there, and for how long, and for when? I just, I think that's going to be really important in the next season, and I'm not sure where they're going to go with it.
I just want flashbacks of it, because now I don't know. It's a great question. But right now, all I want are these flashbacks to understand, was this like a young love or did one person become obsessed with the, like,
Right.
where are we with this? Because I don't understand enough about, I guess, like the type of love that it was.
Yeah, there was something there, but I think we need more information to like really know what was going on.
Any thoughts?
Just my mind was blown like pretty big tonight.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need some answers there, and that's about all we can.
They blew my mind and normally it's like over the course of the episode my mind is blown, or in like the final scene. This was like 3 minutes in the middle of the episode, and I was just like, wait, what? Can we all back up and figure out what just happened? Because this was crazy. I just mind blown. But you know what? It is sad that we don't get more Pretty Little Liars till June. I'm broken up about that because like that to me, I just feel like I need answers.
Wait, who killed Mrs. D?
Probably her
Charlotte.
sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we thought it was Charlotte, but it was probably her sister.
Well, because we saw that flashback of Charlotte that's like, Mommy, no, holding her at one point. Like, so Charlotte didn't do it, but I do think that
Mary
did it. However, I would like to know if Charlotte knew Mary existed and she was in on this whole thing. And
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, yeah.
because if she knew she existed, then why would she be so devastated, this and that? I don't know.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm going to have to replay the episode and really look into it more, and tweet us always using the hashtag ABTVPLL. You can always find us on there, and we'll be looking at those all season. But before we get into our news and gossip and predictions, we have a show that you should be watching in the off season before PL comes back, and Kristen's going to tell you about it.
Yes, mark your calendars for The Catch, Thursday, March 24th on ABC. It's the premiere of TGIT's twisty new drama, The Catch. It's from the executive producers of Grey's Anatomy Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and it's the story of a private investigator and a con man who are never supposed to fall in love as they go. The Catch stars The Killings, Mireille Enos, and Parenthood's Peter Krause. Enos plays LA's top PI, one woman you don't want to mess with, and her fiancé, played by Krause, takes her for millions and then disappears. So she will stop at nothing to catch her man. Game on. As her hunt begins, it turns into an intoxicating and clever game of cat and mouse. Think of it as a Romeo and Juliet kind of love in a sexy, suspenseful James Bond world. So grab some red wine, get your Twitter thumbs ready, and settle in for a TGIT's thrilling, seductive new drama, The Catch, premiering Thursday, March 24th at 10/9 Central on ABC.
Yes, and I'm so excited. Anything Shonda Rhimes, I'm in for.
You guys, I've seen the pilot. It's fantastic.
It's bound to be a lot like Pretty Little Liars. So if you're into Pretty Little Liars, I think you're going to be into that.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
So much drama on Pretty Little Liars, clearly on The Catch, something not to miss.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about news and gossip.
News and goss. Sorry.
Yeah,
There
we
we
got
go.
it. All right, so this is such a fun article on glamour.com, 21 mind-blowing secrets you probably didn't know about PLL, and I feel like I'm such a longtime fan of this that when you see these kinds of articles, generally I'm not surprised by what's in them. I'm like, yeah, all right,
You're
guys.
like, oh, did you know that Cece and Jason were dating when they were related when they were dating? You're like, yeah,
You're like, I got it. But this one actually had some fun facts in it. Like, I never knew that Ashley Teasdale was originally cast on this show as one of the liars, and she ended up not taking the role to do Hellcats. It
would be a much different show with her on, I feel like.
I agree with you completely. Like, that was like, and which liar would she play?
I think it was Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
could see that.
Bond, yeah.
Well, thank God for Ashley Benson.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted an Ashley in that role, obviously.
Clearly.
Clearly that was the goal. And then Ezra, I assumed Fitzgerald obviously was after F. Scott Fitzgerald, but Ezra is after a famous poet, Ezra Pound. And so it's a really like thought out name. I just thought it was like cool Ezra Aria,
cool.
like sound good together. But Ezra Pound, a great poet. So yeah,
how fun.
Something to think about for sure. And you should definitely check out the rest of the article. So many fun facts on glamour.com. So let's quickly do our predictions here.
Oh my God, there's so many.
I know. We have to do season 7 predictions, guys.
Where to begin, even?
I don't even know.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to predict that Spencer and Toby are going to hook up, and that's going to make things easier on this whole Caleb situation because she's going to come back. I mean, come on. We know she's coming back.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Everyone's saying obviously she comes back because she was in the "he's coming for you" scene.
Right.
Yeah. And someone said she was pregnant in that scene, so I have to go back and look because I never noticed she was pregnant.
I'm sorry, who was pregnant?
Hannah.
Why did they say she was pregnant?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Interesting. Something I really want to make sure we bring up, which I think is important with the fans. Okay, do you guys remember Aunt Carol? They talked about crazy Aunt Carol.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So, Aunt Carol somehow is, I'm sorry, what's the new twin's name? Mary. Aunt Carol's Mary. You know, when we saw the grave was fake back in the day, whatever. So I think there's going to be something with that. And I think that Jason is going to come back and is kind of going to be like, yeah, I kind of knew this, but I wanted to peace out because I might die here.
Yeah.
He's smarter.
I was going to
Good
say,
choice, Jason.
anyone who leaves Rosewood, I have to give them a round of applause
Right?
because you're like, wait, this place has killings. Like, it's happening all the time around you.
These girls are deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that Hannah and Caleb are a lot smarter than they let on in that they had a bigger plan if she were to get captured.
Yeah, for sure.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. He wasn't going to let that one just slide on by.
Kristin, any?
I was just like letting that sink in, that bigger plan. I was like, yeah, but he didn't know about the floor. He looked so surprised. I don't even know. I hope someone gets pregnant.
I'm not ready for them to get pregnant.
Yeah, not yet.
It'll bring him a whole lot of drama, though.
Yeah.
Like, think about it this way. Let's say Arya gets pregnant with Ezra's baby, and, like, she's got to break it to Liam and then be, like, also to her boss. Like, by
I
the
feel like
way...
Liam doesn't exist anymore.
I know, he doesn't. She's also going to be to her boss. Like, by the way, remember how I was writing a book with my teacher? I'm actually also pregnant with his baby now. Surprise!
I mean, your prediction makes me go back to something that I've wanted all of season 6 and I'm still hoping for in season 7, an epic dinner party
Yes.
with all parties involved.
That's how we should start out season 7.
Because
Yeah.
Caleb, Hannah, Spencer, and Toby alone, that foursome together would be amazing at a dinner party. So that's what I'm hoping for. Somewhat, like, I feel like we've gotten that in Halloween episodes in the past. Other
The
times,
Christmas one was great.
yeah, so I feel like it's one of those times where I really want the entire crew together. So that's what my hope for season 7 is. Thank you, Sam, for joining us.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, girls, all season for hanging out and talking Pretty Little Liars.
And thank you, Hannah, for your duty prior to tonight.
Yes, and thank you to all the fans who have been chatting with us all night and every week all season. You can find AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV, and you can find me at Stephanie Wenger on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kristin_Strange.
And you guys can find me at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram, online at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com, and on Snapchat at SamDavidson25.
You can find me on all social media at Heather Joy Smith. And thank you again to Jordan at SF Apparel for these wonderful Team Ezria shirts. We love them. Go follow them and go buy some shirts, everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Have a good night, and thanks. See you next season.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.